The signal from the edge, the distress call, started as a weak pulse, bouncing through dead space, dodging black holes and ancient minefields. It came from a planet no one had visited in decades. The message was short. Just a cry. A scream for help. It was picked up by Earth's old listening post on the edge of Sector 9. The outpost was mostly automated. One human sat inside, Leo. He wasn't a soldier. Just a watcher. But the moment he read the translation, his fingers froze. "We are being hunted. Please, if anyone hears us, we are dying." Leo tapped into the signal's data and confirmed. The sender. The origin was a planet called Veltra. Small. Quiet. Known for farming and trade. No reason for war. But now it was under attack. The computer ran the signal through Earth's response protocol. Leo didn't have to decide anything. The system already knew what to do. It pinged command. Earth's military, called by the galaxy the Lethal Fleet, was not known for diplomacy. They didn't arrive with peace banners or warning shots. When the Deathworlders moved, they moved to end wars, not prolong them. At Earth command, the alert echoed in deep red across the fleet's war map. The High Marshal, a quiet man named Grigor, stared at it for just 5 seconds before saying one word: deploy. Back on Veltra, a girl named Lyra watched her home burn. Her people were peaceful. They had no real army. Just a few patrol ships and training units. They weren't ready for the black ships that came from the dark parts of the void. The invaders didn't speak. Didn't answer calls. They just fired. City by city, field by field. Smoke painted the skies. Lyra had lost her family in the first wave. Now she was hiding in a cave with a few dozen survivors. Everyone whispered the same question: will anyone come? She didn't believe the old stories. About Earth. About the Deathworlders. The tale spoke of humans who could see in chaos. Kill in silence. Bring storms and fire with their ships. But she had never seen one. Her friend Tam, wounded and weak, whispered, "The humans won't come. They don't care. We are too far." But above them, far beyond the planet's edge, space tore open. Earth's fleet didn't arrive with a sound. It didn't need to. One moment, there was silence. The next, hundreds of massive ships slid out of hyperspace like shadows rising from the deep. Each one was black, shaped for war, and bristling with weapon pods, armor plating, and shield rings. The largest ship, the Hammer of Earth, led the charge. The alien ships noticed, and for the first time, they hesitated. On the ground, Lyra looked up. She saw stars disappear behind a dark shape stretching across the sky. Some survivors screamed. Others fell to their knees. Lyra just whispered, "They came." A voice echoed through every channel, in every frequency, in every language: "This is Earth. You called for help. Now stand back." In space, Earth's fleet opened fire. The first strike from Earth's fleet was silent in space, but it felt like thunder on Veltra. Above the clouds, white beams sliced through the sky, cutting the enemy ships apart. The black invader vessels tried to move, tried to scatter, but the Deathworlders didn't give them time. Target locks snapped into place faster than most species could think. Missiles moved like thoughts. Lasers followed. The Hammer of Earth launched a single pulse from its front cannon. Point one shot. An entire enemy cruiser broke into molten pieces. Down below, in the cave, Lyra and the others watched as the darkness of smoke turned red. Fire bloomed across the heavens. It was not just a fight. It was judgment. Tam groaned and pulled himself toward the entrance. His eyes widened. "Are they winning?" he asked. Lyra didn't answer. She didn't need to. The sky told the truth. The warships that had destroyed her city were now falling, one by one, like metal rain. In Earth's command center on the Hammer, Commander Holt stood tall. He wasn't large or loud. But when he spoke, every officer listened. Report. 10. Enemy ships down. 6 remaining. Some retreating. Pursue, Holt said without blinking. No survivors. Another voice spoke beside him, Lieutenant Mara. They didn't respond to hails. No known language. Their energy signatures don't match any council records. Holt narrowed his eyes. So they're ghosts. He leaned closer to the screen. watching enemy ships dive behind moons and debris, then wheel erase them. In the outer ring of Veltra's orbit, one invader tried to escape. It powered its engines to the limit, rushing for open space. But behind it came a Terran hunter ship. Small, sleek, silent. Built only for one task. It launched 6 plasma darts. The enemy ship exploded without a scream. Lyra couldn't stop shaking. Not from fear, but from something new, hope. All her life, people said Earth didn't care about outer planets. That humans kept to themselves. That they were too dangerous to trust. But now, when everyone else stayed silent, the humans had answered. Above the battlefield, the last enemy ship spun wildly. Their formations broke. Panic took hold. That's when Earth's fleet did something terrifying. They stopped firing. Just for a second, all ships held their weapons. Their lights dimmed. The silence stretched, and then a single message went out. This was your warning. The next time you target a peaceful world, there will be no survivors. Earth has spoken. Then the last shots came. 6 beams. 6 targets. No more enemy ships. Silence returned to Veltra's orbit. But it was not the silence of fear. It was the calm that followed a storm. The kind that only comes when every threat is gone. On the ground, the survivors began to step out of their hiding places. Some wept. Others raised their hands in thanks to the dark shapes above. The name Earth passed from mouth to mouth like a blessing. In the cave, Tam grinned weakly. Guess they do care. Lyra looked up. She didn't smile. Her voice was low, filled with something deeper. They didn't come to help us. They came to punish the ones who hurt us. From the sky, a small ship began to descend. Sleek and sharp, made of black metal, it moved like a blade through air. It landed just beyond the cave, sending dust flying. Lyra stood. For a moment, no one moved. Then she stepped forward. The ramp of the Terran ship opened. 2 humans walked down. One was a man in dark armor, silent and still. The other was a woman with a tablet in her hand, scanning the area. We are here to assess damage and assist survivors, the woman said. Lyra blinked. You're really humans? The woman smiled faintly. Yes. You called. Earth listened. The man beside her said nothing. His eyes scanned the forest, the hills, the skies. Even with victory behind them, he stayed alert. Lyra knew, in that moment, that Earth was not just powerful. Earth was watching, and no one, no matter how far, was ever truly alone again. Lyra watched the 2 humans with cautious eyes. Around her, the other survivors stepped out from the cave one by one. Some limped. Some helped the wounded. Everyone stared at the black-armored humans as if they were ghosts. The woman who had spoken earlier pulled out a small scanner. It glowed blue as she swept it across the crowd. My name is Dana, she said. This is Commander Rourke. We are with Earth's response unit. The man nodded once. His armor didn't shine. It looked like it had seen fire, ash, and blood, but it was spotless. He spoke just 4 words. Anyone need medical aid? Dozens raised their hands. Within minutes, 2 more Terran dropships landed behind the first. They opened with precision, and medics began moving. They carried machines, stretchers, supplies, and expressions that didn't change, no matter how bad the injuries. Lyra looked around. Children with burns. Elders without limbs. Friends holding onto each other like the wind might take them. The humans didn't hesitate. They treated everyone. Even Tam, who had passed out, was quickly carried into a mobile med unit. Still, Lyra stood back. Watching, Dana noticed. You're not injured. No, Lyra said quietly. Just tired. The woman tilted her head. You're the one who sent the signal, aren't you? Lyra blinked. How did you know? Dana smiled. The signature on the SOS was tied to a personal transmitter. You broadcasted it from the farming tower, Zone 3. Only one person could have made it out of there alive. Lyra didn't answer. Why did you send it to Earth? Dana asked. There was no accusation in her voice. Only curiosity. Lyra took a breath. Because the stories. I didn't believe them before. But when we were losing everything, I hoped they were true. I hoped Earth would come. Dana nodded slowly. We always come. But we don't always come peacefully. Behind them, fire. Teams cleared the ruined town. They moved like machines, searching for enemy remains, mines, hidden tech. Commander Rourke stood still in the center, overseeing it all. Lyra watched him carefully, his different. Dana followed her gaze. He's fought in 17 campaigns. First contact with 6 hostile species. He doesn't talk much. But he gets results. At that moment, a soldier ran up and whispered something to Rourke. The commander's eyes darkened. He raised a fist, and every Terran unit stopped moving. Dana looked back at Lyra. Stay here. Then she ran to Rourke. Lyra didn't listen. She crept forward, keeping to the side, hidden behind fallen stone. The soldiers gathered around a crater where one of the enemy ships had crashed. Part of the hull still pulsed with red energy. Something inside was moving. .2 medics pulled out a small body, grey skin, 4 eyes, breathing weakly. Dana spoke into a wrist comm. We've got a survivor. One of the attackers. Rourke nodded. Sedate and secure. We are taking it for interrogation. But then it spoke, not in words, but a broadcast. Lyra heard it in her mind like a whisper. You don't understand. This wasn't just war. We were fleeing something worse. Everyone froze. Lyra stumbled back, heart racing. The enemy was afraid. Rourke frowned. Did anyone else hear that? Every Terran around him nodded. Dana whispered, is this real? Were they running from something? The alien gasped once more. We were trying to warn you. Earth is next. The soldier holding the alien looked up. Sir? Rourke's jaw tightened. Everyone, double perimeter. Prepare for orbital scan. I want every system online. He turned to Dana. Get that message back to Earth. Now. Lyra stepped into view, heart pounding. What did it mean? Why is Earth next? Rourke didn't answer. He just looked to the sky, and for the first time since the Deathworlders arrived, he looked worried. Commander Rourke stood still as the alien's final words echoed in his mind. Earth is next. That wasn't a threat. It was a warning. He turned toward the med team. Keep that thing alive. No mistakes. If it dies, we lose answers. The alien lay limp, breathing shallow. Its skin cracked like stone. Its armor was torn and full of strange symbols. None matched any known enemy Earth had faced. Dana had already opened a secure channel back to Earth Command. Her voice was steady. But her eyes were sharp. This is Field Officer Dana, attached to Fleet Hammer. We have a live enemy. It spoke using psychic broadcast. Warning received. Message, they were fleeing something worse. Earth is next. Requesting orbital support and long-range scans. The reply came in seconds. Confirmed. Stand by. Scans underway. Lyra stood beside a broken tree, trying to stay calm. Around her, the Terran soldiers moved with new speed. What was before a recovery mission now looked like a battlefield again. Defense turrets rose from ships. Drones zipped into the air. Shields activated. She had hoped Earth would save them. Now she feared Earth itself might be in danger. Tam, pale and bruised, limped out of the mobile clinic with help. What's happening? He asked weakly. Lyra glanced at the sky. I think the humans just got scared. Tam gave her a confused look. They don't look scared to me. No, she said, but their eyes changed. I saw it. Above them, new signals arrived. 3 more Terran warships exited hyperspace. They didn't land, they hovered like shadows above the clouds. Ready. Waiting, inside the hammer of Earth, the orbital scan results came back. Dana read them aloud to Commander Rourke. There's a trail. Something passed through this system. It moved fast. Distorted space. Burned traces across planets. Like a wave. Rourke frowned. Weapon? No. More like gravity tearing apart fabric. A ripple, not a strike. Whatever it was, it came through here, scared them, and left something behind. The data showed strange energy readings deep underground, below the area where the alien crashed. Not a ship. Not metal. Just a wrongness, dig team? Rourke asked. Dana nodded. Already on the way. On the ground, machines began drilling into the soil. Terran engineers worked fast. Earth didn't waste time. Lyra stood near the command post. She wasn't a soldier. Not even a fighter. But her presence had become familiar. People nodded to her now. Even Dana didn't send her away, maybe because she had been the one to call. Earth, maybe because she was the only one who truly listened to what the alien said. An hour later. The drill struck something, not metal, not stone, something alive. It pulsed once, and all the Terran scanners went dead, drones fell, weapons jammed, every screen blinked black, then white, then a voice filled the air. It didn't speak in any tongue, but all heard it, even Lyra, even Tam, even the soldiers. We are coming. You were warned. You opened the path. And then silence, everything turned back on. Commander Rourke's face went cold. Seal the site. Call in the Titans. Dana's face went pale. Sir, the Titans haven't been deployed in over 50 years. They are for extinction-level threats. This might be one, he said. Lyra stepped closer. What was that voice? Rourke looked at her. The reason they ran. All around them, the air felt heavier. Like the ground itself didn't want to hold whatever was waking up. Veltra had survived the attack, but now something worse had been disturbed, something ancient, something that had made the invaders look like prey. The dig site was surrounded now. Terran troops in heavy armor stood in a wide circle. Drones floated in the air. Cannons aimed downward. No one spoke unless needed. The ground at the center pulsed once every few minutes, like a heartbeat. A slow, deep thump that made your bones shake. Commander Rourke stared at it. It looked like a hole. Not made by hands or tools, but by pressure. Like space itself had pressed its thumb into the planet's crust. Dana stood beside him, reading from a new scan. There's something under there. Something massive. Living. Not moving, but watching. Rourke didn't blink. Do we have a name? No, she replied. This signature doesn't match anything. Not from Earth, not from Council archives. It might not be from this galaxy. One of the soldiers stepped forward. Sir, should we pull out the civilians? Rourke looked toward Lyra, who stood at the edge of the camp with Tam. No, he said. They already survived the first attack. They deserve to see how Earth handles the next. Tam was getting stronger. He could walk on his own now. He stared at the dig site with fear in his eyes. Lyra, on the other hand, looked calm. This thing, she said, it's not just a weapon, is it? No, Dana said quietly. It's something older than war. Just then, the ground shivered again. A crack appeared in the center. Out of it came smoke, black, cold, and slow. It didn't rise like heat. It slid across the soil like water. Where it touched metal, it made it rust. Where it touched stone, it crumbled, and when it touched the air, it whispered. Everyone heard the same voice again. We see you, Deathworlders. You carry fire. But fire burns out. Terran soldiers raised their weapons. But they didn't fire. Not yet. Rourke narrowed his eyes. Dana. Tell Earth Command, we need Titans now. Full deployment. No delay. She nodded and tapped her wrist. Device. Lyra stepped closer, ignoring Tam's warnings. She looked at the black smoke. It didn't move toward her. It just floated around her, like it was curious. Why didn't it attack me? She asked. Rourke watched carefully. Because you're not a threat to it. He looked at the smoke again. But we are. Above, the sky shimmered. Then a hole opened in space, far wider than any dropship. Earth's Titans arrived. 7 massive ships. Each one larger than a city. Shaped like towers with engines. Covered in armor thick enough to survive a star's heat. These weren't warships. These were the final answer to extinction. When the Titans arrived, the smoke hissed. For the first time, it retreated. Dana looked up. They are scared. No, Rourke said. They are patient. And this was just the scout. Suddenly, the alien prisoner, the one they'd kept alive, began screaming in its chamber. It repeated one word in its own tongue, over and over. Then, it switched to the human language. You brought them. You called them. You opened the gate. Thrashed, trying to tear off its bindings, Rourke ran to the cell. What gate? The alien's eyes turned black. This world was locked. For a reason. We only wanted to flee. We thought it was dead, then its body stopped moving, smoke slipped from its mouth and vanished. Lyra's knees weakened. She grabbed the edge of a support rail. We didn't just wake something, she whispered. We invited it. Tam looked at her. What do we do now? Rourke walked back to the edge of the crack. His voice was calm, but his words were steel. Now we do what Deathworlders always do. He raised his hand, and the Titans powered their weapons. We finish it. The Titans floated high above Veltra like sleeping giants. But they were not asleep. Each Titan carried enough firepower to level moons. They were Earth's last answer. Used only when survival was at stake. Now, they aimed all weapons at the broken ground below. Commander Rourke stood firm on the ridge, wind brushing his coat as the dark smoke circled the crack again. It wasn't moving like before. Now it spun slowly, forming symbols in the air, shapes. No one could read. Dana checked her scanner and shook her head. Still no translation. The symbols shift every second. Rourke didn't wait. Fire control. Charge primary array. From orbit, Titan 1, Oblivion Edge, began to glow red at its core. It hummed like a storm waiting to strike. Below, the black smoke reacted. It split, and from the center of the pit, something rose. It wasn't metal. Not exactly. It wasn't flesh, either. It was a shape, tall, sharp, too many angles, too few rules. Like a creature born in a dream, where logic didn't exist. It stood on nothing. Its voice came from everywhere. You should not have found us. Rourke didn't flinch. You killed civilians. You invaded a peaceful planet. You made us respond. The creature turned. We didn't invade. We followed the signal. You opened the gate. Lyra felt a chill crawl down her back. What signal? The being floated higher, tendrils of dark energy falling from it like rain, the cry for help. The one you answered. It echoed through time. It broke the seal. Dana's eyes widened. The SOS, it wasn't just a message. It was a key. Lyra stepped back. Her voice was quiet. I didn't mean to open anything. I just wanted help. The creature turned its head toward her, despite having no eyes, and Earth came. With rage. With weapons. With Titans. Rourke raised his hand. That was your mistake. He dropped it. Above, Oblivion Edge fired. The beam came down like a sun falling from the sky. Red. White. Pure energy. It struck the creature with full force. For a moment, everything went silent, then the ground split. The creature screamed, not in pain, but in challenge. It absorbed the beam, turned it, and sent it back. A shockwave burst through the air. Trees flattened. Rocks shattered. The closest Terran ship was hit and thrown sideways, crashing into the hills. Dana shouted, shields up. Troops activated defense fields. Blue domes covered the camp just in time as a second shockwave hit. Rourke's voice was calm. Status. Titan 1 is damaged. Titan 2 charging. Lyra stood frozen. Her voice trembled. We can't win, can we? Tam stood beside her, hand on her shoulder, but Rourke turned to them, and for the first time, his voice was sharp. We never expect to win. We fight because others can't. He opened a direct channel to all ships. This is Commander Rourke of Earth's response fleet. Target has resisted first strike. Adjust fire. Full fleet barrage. Do not stop. Fire until this thing no longer casts a shadow. One by one, the Titans locked in from orbit. The fleet rained fire. Not a single shot was wasted. Missiles, plasma bursts, graviton warheads, beams that melted through mountains. The dark creature fought back. It screamed, twisted, grew wings made of smoke and light. But Earth's fury didn't stop. Earth had seen too many monsters to fear one more. The air turned to fire. The ground shook like it wanted to flee. Even the sky turned red from the heat. Of so many weapons, Lyra and Tam ducked behind a transport. The earth beneath them cracked. Still, the Terran soldiers held the line. Shields remained up. Orders were clear: destroy. Finally, after what felt like hours, but was only minutes, the creature let out one final cry, not in anger, not in hate, but in fear. Then it vanished. The crack in the ground sealed itself. The smoke faded. Silence returned. A voice from Titan II came through. Target eliminated. Awaiting orders. Commander Rourke didn't celebrate. He looked at the sealed Earth. This wasn't the end, he said quietly. It was a test. Dana looked at him. Then what's the real threat? He turned to the sky. I don't know. But Earth will be ready. Asterisk. The battlefield was quiet now. The smoke had cleared. The skies above Veltra were calm. The dark creature was gone. The crack in the Earth no longer pulsed. But nothing felt safe. Commander Rourke walked across the scorched ground, scanning the soil with every step. Soldiers followed behind him, sweeping for any trace of the strange energy. None was found, but deep down, everyone knew this wasn't over. Lyra stood beside Tam, watching as Terran engineers rebuilt a temporary base. Earth never left a place broken. They came with destruction, but they always stayed behind to rebuild. She still couldn't forget what the creature had said. You opened the gate. Had her distress call really done that? Dana approached her with a soft expression. It wasn't your fault, you know. But it was my signal, Lyra whispered. Dana shook her head. You called for help. You had every right to. The problem isn't that you asked, it's what answered along the way. Rourke walked up behind them. His eyes were hard, as always, but he didn't speak like a commander this time. He spoke like a man. Earth has long known there are things out there we don't understand. We don't fear them. We face them. Because that's what humans do. Tam nodded slowly. Even when they are terrified. Rourke smiled for the first time, especially when we are terrified. Above them, the Titans held position. They wouldn't leave, not until Earth was sure Veltra was safe. Back on the ground, the team discovered wreckage buried deep in the soil. Strange crystals. Pieces of language. Not from the invaders. From something older. An ancient race, long gone. Their markings were worn, but one message had survived. Dana read it aloud from her scan, sealed for the good of all. Do not disturb. Rourke crossed his arms. Well, someone broke that rule. Lyra stepped closer. What happens now? Rourke answered simply. Now we stay. He looked out across the valley, where Terran dropships delivered supplies. Engineers were setting up beacons. Shield towers were being built around the site. We'll turn this planet into a forward watch point, he said. Nothing like this will rise again without Earth knowing. Dana added, Command has already sent word. More fleets are on the way. Scientists, engineers, protectors. Not just to study, but to guard. Lyra felt a strange warmth in her chest. Then we are not alone anymore. No, Dana said. You're not. Earth doesn't walk away from its promises. For above, the stars glowed quietly. But one section of space still held a faint shimmer, where the creature had come from. Sensors picked it up but couldn't scan it. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a planet. It was a crack. Like the skin of the galaxy had been torn open. Rourke stared at the readings and gave his final order of the day. Mark the location. Send a warning across all council channels. Tam raised a brow. Even the ones that ignored us before. Especially them, Rourke replied. He turned to Lyra and nodded. Go home. Rest. Earth has it from here. But Lyra paused. What? If they come back? Rourke's eyes were cold steel. Then we show them what happens when you wake the Deathworlders twice. Asterisk.